Good morning and welcome to GED Social Studies. In this first unit, we're going to be talking about how to understand maps. This is something that is important to understand as you go through the social studies portion of the GED, knowing where everything is and where everything can be found. Here is a general map of the United States. As you can see, it doesn't label the states as it does the different types of programs you may be familiar with, such as Roseanne, taking place in Lanford, Illinois, Justified from Kentucky, and Alice from Phoenix, Arizona. This is me, your instructor, Teresa Kesterson, and I am not only teaching the social studies portion of the GED, I'm also teaching the RLA portions, and I do a little math. But the videos that you're finding are from me, and I am your instructor for social studies today. How are you doing? Okay, so we're going to start off by identifying the objective for this first lesson, which is identifying oceans, continents, states, the 13 American colonies, absolute locations, climate, and other types of vocabulary that go along with map reading. And you look over here on the right side, you can see more of the types of vocabulary you're going to be looking at. The equator, the hemisphere, continents, being able to list and know where they are, the continents, the oceans, what latitude and longitude are, how to find and read cardinal directions, the compass rose, scale, absolute locations, symbols, the map key, different types of maps such as physical versus political, and population density. Also, we're going to be looking at human-made features, climate, and climographs. So, everyone likes to take, well, I'm going to say most people, or well, let me bring that down a little bit further. Some people, like me, like to take road trips. That is one thing I am missing during this quarantine that we're all going through, is taking my random road trips to just anywhere I want. But I have learned that there are times when you need to have some kind of guidance. Before I got my GPS, which I've named Samantha, Anyway, after Samantha Stevens from Bewitched, I'm a big Bewitched fan. Anyway, so I was using a map. I would go on Google Maps, or I would look for a map on MapQuest, and it would give me directions step by step of where I needed to go and how far it would be and all that kind of information. Now that I have my Samantha, which is my GPS, all I have to do is plug in the final address or the ultimate goal, and she tells me how to get there. So there's different ways you can use your social studies skills by being able to read the map. You can use it in an atlas, if you can find one of those, or internet, or like I said, the GPS. So geographic features is one of the things that we need to know. We're going to learn about identifying map components and core geographic concepts. So these are some of the map components and graphic concepts we're talking about. So like location. Location can be described in two ways, absolute and relative. And we're going to learn about how to identify these in like where we live, the absolute location. Absolute describes the position of a feature or event in space using some form of geographic coordinates. So think about it this way. If you're asking for directions to go to the local, let's say Kroger store, but you're not very familiar with the streets. If you're like me, you would be looking more for those landmarks, like where is the Marathon gas station? How close is it to the Kroger store? Is it right across from another type of identifiable location? So that's one way of doing that. That's one way of thinking about location. The region those are groupings of geographic information. A region is a geographic area defined by one or more distinctive characteristics, like physical features, like the watershed, on the side of the river. Political boundaries, that's, the county, the country, the continent. We have several counties here in Kentucky. Or other categorized geographies. Place, we're talking about physical and cultural attributes. Place looks like the physical and or cultural attribute of a place is important. Physical characters include weather and temperature, land and soil, plant and animal life. For example, we know that the western part of the states, you're going to find more desert areas than you would on the eastern side. Both sides have mountain ranges, but yet they differ in a way too. So those are physical attributes. Cultural attributes, if you think about it, look at the different areas and how our language skills are. The languages we use, our accents. There's more of a southern drawl in the southern part of the states. And we're going to talk about why the different parts of our country have these different types of languages and or accents, or however you want to put it. But we're going to study about why that has happened. And I'm going to give you a hint. It goes all the way back to the beginning of our country's founding. So just stay tuned. Anyway, so density, dispersion, pattern understanding, those are understanding spatial patterns, and it's an important aspect of geographic inquiry. Spatial patterns look like commonalities in geography across regions, and how are these things arranged? We're going to be talking about that throughout this unit. And spatial interaction. Spatial interaction is the cause and effect of an event in one region or area that affects another area and looks at the connectivity and relationships of features. Think about earthquakes. Where are they more likely to be found or occur? What about the coastlines? Those different things. Size and scale, when you look at this on a map, you see the geographic features are visualized and using a map, which is a representation of reality. The size and scale affects the degree of generalization of the features being mapped. So when you're looking at a map, you always know that they give you that little information over in the key, what an inch would equal to. So if you want to know if it's 100 miles and you want to know how many inches it is from one location to another, you can measure, and then you can also adjust that to the mileage key that they give you. So these are the different parts of the map that we're going to be looking at, learning how to study them, learning where all of this falls in together. And in doing so, this is going to be your first homework assignment. So if you look over on the left, we're talking about map videos. So you need to watch each one of those videos. And then on the right, if you see, you have little PDF forms down here. And you'll click on each one of them, complete it because it is a worksheet. You can either do this online by sending in your answers separately or print it off, fill it out, and then check your answers that has the answer with the answer key that's attached to it. And then take a picture of your work, or if you're doing this online, just send me a copy of what you've corrected and your work you've done, and you can get your credit, get homework credit for it. So this is Miss Teresa again, and I'm just here to get you started. This is an introduction to the lesson, an introduction to the whole unit. You have a great day, and I will see you next time in GED Social Studies. Bye.